One, if we can, lightning is increasing. We can actually see the base of this thunderstorm looking off to the southwest from our Dripping Springs WeatherBug network camera. And there you get to see that area that's going to be moving in. So an intense line of storms that we're going to be watching, and that continues to develop quite a bit of lightning looking off to the southwest. So that's a storm that definitely will make us pay attention, because that's an isolated supercell that could be developing a circulation. And the type of environment that we have, Leslie, in a tornado watch is something that we have to watch very closely. So it's going to be a noisy night. Look at the lightning increasing in intensity, too. That is our WeatherBug network camera from Dripping Springs at the Kisser FM tower. And that is just north of Van Buren, in case you're wondering, close to Figure 5, which is exactly where this cell is going to be headed. Let's do a track on that cell. That's coming in, and there's actually two cells. There's one cell southwest of Dripping Springs. Davion, how is that looking on areas of circulation? Looks like two cells are trying to pop up.
Yeah, that circulation to the southwest of Dripping Springs, it doesn't look too defined, but again, we are very close to the radar, so that is something to keep in mind, as it definitely could be a little bit more defined than what you see on live Mega Doppler right now. So again, we know the ingredients are there, especially in the river valley where conditions are a little bit more prominent, and that's why we're continuing to want you to be in your safe places if you're underneath a tornado warning, and stay vigilant if you're in a tornado watch, which is our entire area, and that lasts until 4 a.m. So regardless of how unimpressive the radar may look a few moments ago or just before we cut into live, again, you can see how fast these things ramp up. And in fact, just got the latest scan on reflectivity, I should say, and this is right over Roland, just to the north or due east of Fort Smith, I should say. And it's a little hard to see of the shape, but it definitely does have a little bit of that shape as we continue to look at that.
Yeah, and I've got it pulled up for INX because it's obviously a little closer to the radar. At SRX, so close that if you are seeing a circulation, it's already very close to the ground. So here's a little bit aloft. You can see that area of rotation showing up. A little more of a convergence aloft, which could tell you that some gusty winds might be developing. Here you see another area of convergence. What we mean by that is the winds are moving away from the radar and towards the radar. And here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right in here, right in this region. So this is winds moving away and towards, and this could be developing a downburst potential, essentially, that could be taking place, what we call a MARC, a mid-altitude radial convergence, MARC for short. And that just shows you that some convergence is aloft. Not quite rotation yet, because it's not a couplet, it's not on each side, it's more along the radial, so that kind of shows you that you do have that a little more convergence aloft. But we take a look at SRX, and there's a look at that cell. That's definitely got a lot of lightning with it. And anytime you increase the lightning strikes, that lets you know the storm could be a little more intense. Here's Lincoln looking off to the west, some heavy rain coming down. Had a report of heavy rain moving into the Fort Smith area. That makes sense because, hey, that storm is right on top of Fort Smith. So we'll look at the public library, and you'll get to see quite a bit of lightning here looking off of the distance as that storm continues to ramp up. That's the same one that's that isolated cell. Might even be able to see a little bit of structure associated with it. The winds are really cranking. There's no doubt about that.
Dan, I want to bring your attention to the tornado warning that we have right now, of course, causing us to cut in. The rotation on the latest velocity scans looks a little bit more broad than what we saw when it first started. But I do want to bring your attention just to the south of the warning box over near LaFleur, the city of LaFleur, that is, not necessarily LaFleur County. But you can see a little bit more of rotation on Mega Doppler right now, if you can bring that up.
I got it on there.
Yeah, there it is. And it's not impressive. And there you see the latest scan. It doesn't even look that impressive. But nonetheless, it's something to continue to watch. This is on the southern tip of the same cell that we're continuing to watch. And it is along that balanced regime, I might add, as well.
And if this line break happens where these two cells split, that's going to tell you that you have some pretty intense winds coming back from the storm on the west side that can sometimes cause that rotation to increase a little bit more. So there you see the circulation showing up southwest of LaFleur in LaFleur County. Makes sense, right?
Right.
But LaFleur is actually spelled with a space, and the city of LaFleur is not. So it can be confusing. But hey, at least LaFleur is in LaFleur County. Red Oak, you got Fanshawe, Worcester, Poteau, all those areas, and we're still watching that tornado warning potential. The reason we broke in on TV, we got a warning that is clipping a part of our weather coverage area. No doubt western and northwestern LaFleur County is in that coverage area. And let's go back in time a little bit and look at the circulation, and you can see how it was just a little bit tighter. Okay, we got a brand new tornado warning coming out. Let's see where that area is for. We'll pop this up here soon on the screen. And there you go.
There it is.
Looks like, do they reissue the same one? Update it?
Not seeing anything in
yeah,
the
that looks
US
like the
chat
same
right
one.
Oh, there it is. Tornado warning.
Go.
Haskell, Oklahoma, Latimer, Oklahoma, LaFleur. Yeah, same
Okay.
one.
Yes.
So same one, they just updated it.
I do want to mention newest update. This is from NWS Tulsa. A well-organized and moderately strong low-level meso developed. Of course, that's the one we're talking about, prompting the tornado warning. They say the environment continues to be most supportive for strong gusts and low-level rotation over the next 90 minutes or so. And there you see, just to the south of that, in fact.
Broken Bow.
Yep, Broken Bow.
Tornado warning. Okay, there it is. It finally populated. So it's basically, the problem is you can't see the warning because this line is on here, and it basically covers up with the radar. So when you go off of this, look, you can barely see that line. You see that?
Yep.
So that's an extension of the tornado warning and the new tornado warning that was issued. So this is the old tornado warning, goes until 1 o'clock in the morning. And then this right here, we zoom in a little bit closer. Maybe it was the old warning.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It includes McCurtain.
Trying to get that other warning. Yeah, you got it,
Yeah, the
Leslie.
new warning is shortened. So you can go ahead and
Yeah.
pull up the storm track as well, because I could list off some of the areas that will be impacted here too.
Please do, yeah.
Soon. Excuse me. 12:52 McCurtain, so that's less than 10 minutes. It looks like this rotation is heading close to you guys, if not directly to you guys, so make sure to take cover. Yeah, it looks like that rotation is very close to McCurtain, so make sure to take cover during that time. Bordeaux as well by 12:56, and then Milton as well by 12:59, and then we kind of move just after 1 a.m. So this is a late night situation, of course, but Bakoshi, I believe, is pronounced Dan, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
You got it.
There we go. 1:05 in the morning, Cowlington as well by 1:13, and then Spyboro by 1:18, and then Fort Coffee by 1:23 as well for that area. Again, this line is still moving at 45 miles per hour, so making sure we're keeping an eye on that as we continue along, as well as keeping an eye on some of the other possible embedded rotations within this QLCS.
Let's see if we have any type of supercell structure on this Kisser FM WeatherBug network camera. Before we do that, I do have to do something real quick.
Yeah,
just
of course.
to update the graphics. So stand by here real quick.
Just want to keep you going. The rotation that we're tracking right now, and Leslie, you just mentioned McCurtain. I do want to point out on reflectivity that we're continuing to see just a little bit of a surge as we look at right now. And there's the new latest scanning. You see a lot of rainfall as well as a little bit of hail. This is pea-sized hail that you'll see about to move into portions of McCurtain. In fact, if we can pull up Mega Doppler, you'll be able to see this just to the south and west of McCurtain, and that'll be continuing to move northeast, as Leslie just pointed out. And there you see the progression of it as it continues to move northeast. A lot of information right now. A lot of hail going down. It's only pea-sized, but again, we're continuing to watch the rotation on this. In fact, there you see the broad rotation right over McCurtain, and it points due east. So it's not necessarily a tight couplet right now, but that definitely could change as we're continuing to watch this storm progress and age as it goes over towards LaFleur County.
I also want to mention that from NWS Tulsa, they recorded a wind gust of 53 miles per hour at Stigler. So we also saw reports earlier from trees being down, so there are definitely the potential for damaging wind gusts to be out there. So of course we want to take extra caution with that. And I also want to keep in mind that Little Rock is also keeping an eye on this, and they did mention.
Dan.
Yo.
Yeah, here's a look at that supercell that we were watching out ahead over towards Salisal. And there's another area of rotation that looks like it's trying to get its act together. And that's right over Salisal, I might add.
Okay.
Also seeing hailstones the size of dime size over in this storm.
So it's an isolated supercell. That's something we have to watch. And remember our lovely Kisser FM camera?
We do.
Yes.
Yeah, it went down.
Lightning strike?
All the lightning.
Potentially, yeah.
Probably all the
Potential
lightning. It was really bright on that camera, to say the least. So I wouldn't
Literally
be
like
surprised.
daycare kids trying to keep them behaved as those cameras go down. Check this out. Let's make that full screen if we can on Weather 3, and we're going to do this. We're going to bring this up on Max 1. Let me know when we got that full screen. Check this out. This is some of our WeatherBug network cameras. A little bit of a noisy night. And I know Northwest Arkansas is hearing a lot of thunder, and you're experiencing some rumbles of thunder, seeing a lot of flashes of lightning. You're concerned about the storms, rightfully so. But there is absolutely no severe weather potential at the moment in Northwest Arkansas. It's noisy, it's loud, it's rain, it's thunder, but right now, no severe weather. The tornado warning is focused in the River Valley, and that's why we're covering that storm a lot more. But just want to kind of give you an overview because we got people on the stream. I'm sure they're commenting about what about Rogers, what about Bentonville, what about those areas. And as of now, it's just basically a giant cluster of storms that is non-severe. And so that's what we're hoping for. Let's just have this thing come through, provide a nice little downpour, some beneficial rains. Let's get this thing out of here, and then we can enjoy a beautiful rest of the week. After a little bit of colder weather and rain tomorrow, and then we got, or should I say today, then we got some nice weather. Thursday is looking amazing. After a chilly start to the morning, boy, we warm up, and Friday and Saturday, absolutely fantastic weather. But going back to this, just to give you a quick update, okay, so yes, you got heavy rain coming down in Bentonville, a lot of lightning over Siloam Springs right now. In fact, we can go ahead and we can bring up our Siloam Springs WeatherBug Network camera. And let's just do this. Let's just bring up a small little window here to show you, yeah, it's lightning, and there's occasional flashes of lightning, but not even really super gusty winds at the moment. And so that's our WeatherBug Network camera from Siloam Springs. We'll work our way south.
Hey, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Just want to give you a quick update over in Adair County. This is just to the north of GWES. It does look like a little bit of rotation, trying to get its act together, approaching Highway US 59.
Okay, let's check this out here, because that's an area that's not only tough to chase, but two,
and I'll show you the progression
to
of
watch.
that.
Yeah,
you see.
There it is right there along the leading edge. So that's something to watch. Highway 59, north of Stony Point, in between Zion, as you mentioned, GWES moving northeast. Salem, that's going to be impacted as well. You can see that hail core too. It's showing signs of a stronger storm. So hopefully that Kisser camera comes back. Hopefully it wasn't just like maybe a surge or a brief lightning strike.
It's still trying to reconnect.
Yeah.
To let you know.
Need some generators on those things. Here's a look at the tornado warning. That's, again, LaFleur County. Goes until 1:15. So this doesn't include any of Sequoyah County, doesn't include the River Valley in terms of Fort Smith and Van Buren. We're on dual mode. This right here is a LaFleur County line, in case you're wondering. Sequoyah County, Arkansas River, Fort Coffee, Spiro, Panama. You can see all those areas. But we got to watch this. This is that area of embedded rotation. That's why that tornado warning continues. And you can see how that continues to remain intact. And if this becomes a line break right here, a descending reflectivity core, that could really ramp up that circulation a little bit stronger. So, and this can happen quick too. In a matter of 10, 15 minutes, you could have a potential tornado touching down sometimes with this type of environment. So I want to go back to our radar and work our way down the line. So here we've got West Fork, Greenland, a little bit of rain. There's that isolated cell that's right over Dripping Springs. In fact, we zoom in and you can see Dripping Springs right there. So our camera is getting blasted right now, unfortunately. Hopefully that's not why it went down. Got a little isolated cell that's out ahead of it in Alma. Got some other storms. Notice how those storms are just a little more intense in parts of the River Valley. But that's the only warning that we're covering. And once that warning gets dropped here, and if there's no other warnings that get issued, then we'll just continue on the live stream until these storms move through, and then we'll all have a good, nice rest overnight tonight. And, hey, we got prepared for this storm, and hopefully it doesn't materialize. Let's see, here's an isolated cell, a little bit of small hail, but at the moment, looks like the shear is kind of lacking. So I still think the wind shear is there. We just have to see how this kind of all evolves. I do want to go back to those cameras and look at the multi-views. I can see moving the camera around. You got Top Golf, probably people playing at Top Golf right now, even though there's lightning moving in. There's a look at some of the storms coming in, and let's watch some of the lightning here. Probably some pretty good anvil crawlers, too.
Yep, there you go. Dan just got word by KNWA that the tornado warning has been allowed to expire for Haskell, Latimer, and LaFleur County, Oklahoma.
Yes.
So there you go. Started to weaken a little bit, and that means that we don't do television coverage anymore. We're going to continue it on the stream. 479 First, YouTube, Mr. Weather Dan on X at Weather Dan, also retweeted from Davion and Leshley's accounts. We also got our Facebook pages, KNWA Fox 24, meteorologist Dan Scoff, NWA Weather Authority, and then we're also streaming on 479 First, our streaming platform. So we'll continue to get through the storm, but as of now, tornado warning has expired. So keep it here with your Weather Authority, and we'll keep you advised. We return you back to regularly scheduled programming. Again, you can join us on the stream. Scan that QR code. You can also watch a live stream from our app. Thank you so much.